the product just, I don't want to say it sells itself, but your work sells itself. Let's put it that way.
Thank you.
Like it's just, it's so unique. It looks so, it adds so much dynamic.
Yeah. Every job is different. Even if it's the same product, same color.
Yeah. I
can never replicate it the same way. So
that's right. So take me through what Venetian Plaster is and why it's so different.
Well, it's a lime-based plaster. And so it does this, it's called the lime cycle.
Okay.
Where it starts as a limestone. They cook it, fire it at like 1500, 1600 degrees Fahrenheit or something. Mm-hmm. And that releases carbon dioxide, turns into, sorry to get all sciencey here.
Let's nerd out.
We'll keep it short.
Get nerd
out. Turns into quicklime.
Yep.
You rehydrate it with water. That becomes sort of like a slaked lime. And that can sit, as long as it's underwater in the pail, that will last forever. And there's some companies that will have 25-year-old pails of lime plaster. And I would love to try using one.
Crazy.
They're probably just so creamy and easy to work with.
Yeah.
But so then once you apply that to the wall, the water evaporates. It reabsorbs carbon dioxide. Mm-hmm. And it turns back into a limestone. So it kind of does this full circle, which is really cool.
No kidding.
And just being aware of that and understanding how the product works and why it works the way it does, then I can apply it a certain way. Mm-hmm. And also, like, to do it artistically, you have to know the technical side, but also the artistic side in order to make the finish what it is.
Right.
People will say, they'll touch it and it feels cool and it's smooth. And they say, oh, it looks like stone. And it really, though, it is.
Yeah. That's what initially got me.
Yeah.
I was like, I kind of felt foolish because you look at it and it looks like you're going to feel this texture, and then you touch it and it's like this silky, smooth stone.
Yeah, it's a beautiful product.
Oh man, I love it. It had me at hello. What has the growth looked like over the last few years?
Well, you're in construction too, so you know how it goes. It's everything at once and then nothing. Mm-hmm. And so throughout the year, it ends up being steady.
Yep.
But there were some, especially this year and the year before, where I was going cross-eyed. I couldn't handle it myself. I shouldn't have been handling it myself. I was able to hire someone this year.
Beautiful.
To finally
Congratulations.
help me.
Yeah.
Thanks. And it was a good fit because we used to work together too.
Nice.
He was a taper as well at the same company. So he already knew how to use the trowel. He was just becoming more familiar with the product and how it works.
Yeah.
But it was that first year, it was the job for my friend. And the next year, I think it was for one or two designers or builders.
You were still doing your drywall job?
Full time.
Okay.
So this was, Prairie Plaster was just a side hobby at the time. And I thought it was cool that designers wanted it.
Yeah.
I started thinking, well, maybe this could be something. Around the third year, when it was a little more consistent, I was doing a couple a month. I thought, I want to get this to the point where this is all I'm doing.
Yep.
And I was able to do that last year in April.
Nice.
Yeah. I was working downtown. Oh, so this too. So I'm working full time, doing this on the evenings and weekends. And I just couldn't handle it anymore. You can't work all the time.
Yep.
I just have no life.
Yep.
So I was hourly at this company. I ended up switching to piecework. So they just give you however much footage you want to take on, certain amount of suites in a multifamily building or something, and you have a deadline. So now I have the flexibility of scheduling because I can come and go as I please as long as I meet that deadline. And if I'm too busy with plaster, then I just take on less footage at work.
Perfect.
It was great. It was the ideal situation. I was very lucky actually to have that situation. But then it got, as it continues to get busier, I had to make a choice one day. We were working downtown, these large apartment buildings. They had it all set up so that each floor was on a schedule and the painters were right behind the tapers. And I was supposed to move up a floor. So that Friday I sanded, finished everything. And I had to go down to my foreman and say, I can't take on any more work. I would have liked to have given him, the 2 weeks notice, but it just, how it happened, I just couldn't.
You straight up mic drop that.
Yeah.
Trial drop.
Trial drop. No. But he was very understanding because I spoke about it at work. Everyone knew what I was doing.
Yep.
And he was great about it. You could tell that he was disappointed. He's upset, and it kind of put him in a position where he's like, well, now I need to find somebody.
Yeah.
But he was like, good for you. Like, you need to go try this.
Yeah.
And I hope you do well. So it was really nice to get that feedback.
Well, that's
from
awesome.
him.
One thing I really like so I listen to a lot of podcasts, read a lot of stories about people and their journeys and stuff like that. One of the coolest things is like your story is very similar to how many people's story that have, their full-time job, and then they get an inkling of something that, hey, I like doing this, and start to build it up. And that's really, you get to this precipice of, now I have to make a decision as far as, do I keep living with this madness? Right? Like, I came to the same thing. I was a firefighter in the city here for 11 years. And it was a real big decision of do I quit and keep building and build the company? Because you only have so much focus, right? You only have so much time and energy and stuff like that. So when people are listening and they're listening to your story, right, saying, okay, well, when is that right time to move?